my day's kind of open after that. So
fantastic. All right, sir. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay. So like I said, music, and then I'll introduce you, and then we'll have a talk.
Sure.
All right. Hello and welcome to Morning Fuel. I am your host, John Bundy, and you are here because you believe in the power of the spoken word and its ability to change lives, and that by sharing our stories, we can help others to overcome challenges that they cannot overcome on their own. Whether it's a victory you need to win in business or in your own personal life, you understand that the answers can be found in listening to others who are willing to share their stories, knowing that their story ultimately doesn't belong to them. All right, today's guest, seeing a friend in need, started him on his business ownership journey. One of his favorite things about what he does is the satisfaction that comes from building something and being able to put your own stamp on it. When asked what he does to keep productive, he replied, "I am a firm believer in calendar blocking." When offering advice to others aspiring to succeed as a business owner, he says, learn as much as you can and minimize your interaction with negative people. His favorite quote is, "Character is what you do when no one is looking." Lover of meeting people, building relationships, and a semi-professional networker, owner of Capital Carpet and Services, whose tagline is, "Life happens, we clean it up." Please welcome to the Morning Fuel family, Butch Beckman. Hey, man.
Good morning,
Good
John.
to have you here. Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Talk to us a little bit more about your genesis, your origin story on how you started Capital Cleaning and Service, carpet cleaning.
One of my dad's mottos was, and I've used this before, but I think it's pertinent here, is he always used to tell me that God writes straight with crooked lines, meaning you don't know where it's going to come from.
Yeah.
You can have a plan and you can think this is going to be the next step and the next step, and it never happens. So I was working for a company next door doing business development. Things were going pretty well, but I was looking at my 5-year future and where I was going to go, and it was a family business, so I was never going to be a general manager, and there was no really upward mobility. And one of the people that rented one of the spots below us in our facility was a carpet cleaning company, and I had known her from other things, from networking and other events, and we were pretty good friends. And she shared with me that she was in desperate financial straits. She was going through a divorce. She had a lot of things going on in her life, and she didn't know what to do. She didn't know how to keep the company afloat. Well, the company I work for made an offer to buy her out, but it was really a low ball offer. So I thought about it, and I prayed about it, and I came back, and I made her a higher offer. I mean, it wasn't awesome, but it was, more than what they were offering, and she accepted my offer. For a little while, I was kind of in outs with the company I left because they think I kind of went behind their back, but I don't look at it that way. I look at it as being called to something, to do something else. And anyway, so I bought in with my business partner, and 10 months later, I just ended up buying her out because her heart wasn't in it. Like I said, she'd been going through a divorce. She'd been doing the company for 14 years. And I got to be honest with you, when we first split up, it was a little bit sour. There was a little bit of tension there, but it's come full circle now. Now we're good friends, and we talk periodically, and she's doing real estate now, and she's doing really well for herself, and gave me the opportunity to have my own company. That's kind of something I've always wanted to do and never thought I'd have the opportunity.
Right, fantastic. And how long ago was that?
That was September 2016 that I bought in with her, and July of 2017 that I actually became my own owner.
Fantastic. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Very cool. So, you mentioned your favorite thing to do about your business, and your favorite thing about your business is building something and being able to put your own stamp on it. Explain that a little bit to us. I think I know, but
sure. But I worked for a company for 12 years called Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I'm sure everybody's familiar with that. I started in California and then transferred to Virginia back in '96, I believe. Anyway, I transferred in '94. Think about it, but yeah, neither here nor there. So, but I've had a lot of management experience, and I've really, even with Enterprise, a little dirty secret a lot of people don't know about Enterprise Rent-A-Car is they're the largest hire of recent college graduates. They hire a ton of people fresh out of college, and they have an excellent training program. So a lot of people pick Enterprise people to go into other professions because of their strong training program. But the negative thing is the average length of employment at Enterprise Rent-A-Car is 1 year, 8 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's a real revolving
High
door.
turnover.
You work a lot of hours. You got to be prepared to wash cars in a suit and tie. And I just tell the story when I was in my last office, when I was the manager of Hampton. We had 325 cars in our fleet. I had 15 employees. I had 2 satellites, which I think that's all great. But I have to get in on Monday mornings. I have to be there at 6:30 with 2 car preps, and I'd have my coat and tie hanging on a peg, and I'd be out there busting suds with the other 2 car preps because
Right.
we'd have 48 o'clock reservations. It's the only way we're going to be able to get it done.
Right. Wow.
So, but I guess I love the challenge of succeeding. I was blessed and benefited to have some really good people that work for me. In my 6 years as a manager with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, I won 6 Exceptional Achievement Awards. And that's only given to the top 15% of all offices in the country. And to win 6 of them in 6 years was pretty special. So that's one of my, don't bragging, but I'm just very happy that I was able to achieve that. So it kind of gave me my goal to drive and be better and build things. So.
Very cool. Very cool. So now being able to put that same energy and effort into your own business is it's got to be way, way better than doing that for somebody else.
Exactly. Except you realize there's little things when you're in your own business owner that you don't think about. I was managing other offices in Enterprise, but I had support staff. I had people behind me. I had people in accounting. I had people I could reach out to. I had loss control people if I had an accident in one of my rental cars. I had all these people to help support me. When you own your own small business, you're it.
Yeah.
There is you're the support. So you have to figure out, you have to be, what was it? They call it chief cook and bottle washer. Yeah, you do everything.
That's right.
Everything.
And if anything good happens, you can be proud of that. And if anything bad happens, well, you have to own that too, right?
Exactly.
One of my favorite lines from a movie regarding that is from a Disney movie called A Bug's Life, and the villain said this, but it's true. That is the first rule in leadership: everything's your fault. So,
Exactly.
Yeah. So what you talked about calendar blocking. This is a big challenge that I have. The day gets away with me, and I haven't finished a couple projects that I need to work on it because I spent too much time on one. What's the secret to calendar blocking? Is there a secret to it, or what do you need to do?
Well, the main secret for me is, and thank you that I digress in to say, is I do have a little bit of support staff. I mean, I have 2 wonderful office people that share time. Anita works 3 days a week, and Michelle works 2 days a week.
Okay.
And I can rely on them to help me block my calendar. So, I mean, if I'm somewhere and I'm setting up a biz chat, say with you and I from our networking group, I'll put it on my phone right then and there. I'll put it in the calendar so it's there so I don't forget about it. Because if I wait, life happens and then I forget about it. So I'll or if I'm on the road and it's not something I can't, text and drive or whatever, I just call Anita or Michelle and say, can you put this on my calendar, blah, blah, blah. And they do it. And so, I mean, I guess that the secret for me is do it as soon as you know it needs to be done. Don't procrastinate. Get that done. Get it on the calendar so you can, oh, yeah, that's right. I have to do this, because the longer you wait, things happen and you get things, you start thinking about other stuff. And
so it'd be helpful for me then to, as soon as I get that project or task, to set up time specifically for that and don't do anything else during that time.
Try to block that time as much as possible. Sometimes you have to tweak things. The other thing the first thing I do every morning when I get into the office, I get there usually about 20 to 30 minutes before everybody else. I'll go through my morning to-do list. I'll look at it in the evening sometimes before I leave, and there's something I need to do tomorrow. I put it on the list. But mainly the first thing I do when I get in the morning, I'll put today's date, and I'll put, how many different things do I need to go over. And oftentimes I'll play my list and I think, well, this needs to be more important. I should move this up to that. But that way I can prioritize my list. And then if there's anything on there that I need to transfer to my calendar, I can do that too.
Very good. Very good. Talk to us a little bit about minimizing your interaction with negative people.
Well, you talk to a lot of people. I say this to my people. I said this when I was at Enterprise, when I'd have meetings, and this is related to customers, and it's what I call the 95% rule. 95% of your customers are going to be great to deal with. The other 5% are going to take up 50% of your time because they're so negative and they've got complaints, and most of the time it's not even a realistic thing. So you just have to deal with it and move on, and don't let it, like we used to say, water off a duck's back. So don't let it get to you. Don't give you anxiety or anything. Just fix the problem and move on and
Take care of it quickly and
exactly
get it out of the way.
And positive people kind of attract each other, I kind of think, in a sense. So
Sure.
more so than negative people. And one of the things in life that I've learned is I had a roommate in college when I was in California, and he was negative, had a lot of anxiety. Life was keeping him down, and I thought, well, I'm going to be the bigger man. I'm going to invite him to move out of his parents' house. Come move in with me. I'm going to turn that frown upside down. I'm going to get him going positive. I'm going to be, the guy that can help him out. So I lived with him for a year, and I woke up one morning and I thought to myself, why am I so negative?
Oh,
and
wow.
instead of me being
kinda
able to
rubbed
raise
off
him
on
up,
you, right?
he was pulling me down. So, and I learned from that. I go, if you can help. But sometimes you got to step out of the way and let life happen. You can't help everybody.
Sure. Wow. So now, I became a reader sort of late in life. When I left high school, I swore I'd never read another book. I just didn't like it. I wasn't getting any. I felt like I wasn't getting. It's school textbooks. There was nothing really interesting there. And then got married. My wife actually recommended to me a novel, and I was But I read this book, and it was Jurassic Park. I mean, it was exciting. It was sci-fi kind of stuff. But I that kind of started me into reading, and then a little bit before that, I had really gotten into the church and around people that were reading success books and things like that. So I was reading a lot of self-help and whatnot. So books are important to me, and I know we get some nuggets out of books that really kind of meet us in a place, and we remember them, and they kind of help us to kind of move forward. You had mentioned a couple of books that you're currently reading, and one of them is from Paycheck to Purpose by Ken Coleman. Is there a nugget in there that you can share, or something that kind of hit you while reading that book that can help us out?
Well, honestly, I'm just getting started with that one. The reason that turned me on to it is, and I talked to you before, one of my because I commute 45 miles each way every day. My company car is a Prius, so I get 45 to 50 miles a gallon. I'm all about taking care of the environment, but I'm more about taking care of my wallet, to be honest with you. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, and one that I really enjoy is Brian Buffini. He comes out every Tuesday. I'm waiting, like I told you earlier, I listened to it on the way over today. But he had an interview with Ken Coleman. I'd never even heard of this guy, and I found it was fascinating. I actually listened to one of his podcasts now, but I haven't really got into the book yet. I'm anxious to it. I'm in the middle of another one right now, but I'm going to read that next. But
I picked the wrong book.
No. There's lots of good books out there. So, but he's just the way how to make your life and your goal and your job more of a purpose than just a job. So many people look at it as a 9 to 5. I'm going to get my paycheck. Nobody thinks, am I living my dream, my best life? Is there anything that I can do to change that? And that's kind of what he talks about, is how to get from just collecting a paycheck to having a purpose in your life, which is what life is really all about.
Sounds like a good one.
It is.
Because we could live our whole life just collecting that paycheck, get to the end and have so many regrets.
Exactly.
We didn't try to do that thing and, at least try.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than I wish I would have.
Right. Right. No doubt. Well, before I ask my last question, where can folks meet you and get to know you better online?
Well, you can always go to capitalcarpetingservices.com. We're working on some stuff for our website. We're trying to update it and make it more just a better flow, basically, for lack of a better term.
Right. Do you have somebody doing that for you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I also, I don't know, I do, if you're ever out and about, I do a ton of networking. People ask me all the time where I get the best return on my investment. And I said it's from my shoe leather. So just because people work with who they like and trust. Courtney Bazell. Excuse me 1 second.
Gotcha. I'll take a sip too. Cheers.
Courtney Bazell Riley's a friend of mine. We used to do a lot of stuff together.
Yeah, awesome lady.
Mm-hmm. And she taught me a few things. We used to do presentations together. But that was her always things, people work with who they like and trust. So, and you can't do that if you can't build a relationship. So.
Right. Very cool. So last question, and that is, what does Butch Beckman, what does Capital Carpet and Services most need right now?
That's a good question.
I save the good ones for last.
We need to grow. We need to adjust. I'm doing a couple of things. I just promoted one of my people to be a production manager,
Okay.
so I can take some of the stuff on my plate and go out there and build my business more. One other thing is I don't live in fear, but I thought it was ironic that I was listening to the podcast today by Brian Buffini. It was all about fear, and
Right.
I thought it was how to overcome it. And one of my favorite people, I think I mentioned to you before, is Zig Ziglar. He passed away
Yeah.
way back in 2012, but he used to say that fear was false evidence appearing real. But then he also said that fake everything and run is another one, or
Okay, I got you.
or face everything and rise. I kind of look at
Okay.
it that way. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to rise to the next level, get to the next thing. That's going to be best for our company. And what that is exactly, I'm not sure. I need to get more vehicles in my fleet. I need to diversify. One of the things my former business partner and I disagreed on a lot was that she didn't want to leave Williamsburg. We're based out of Williamsburg. And I'm like, we're never going to really grow if we don't expand our horizons a little
Right,
bit.
right, sure.
So I wanted to reach out to that. One of the reasons I'm in the Peninsula 212 network instead of Williamsburg is that I wanted to expand my horizons. I'd say about 75% of our business is in Williamsburg, and I wanted to get out and meet people outside
Right.
of just my normal, from my comfort zone.
Okay.
So that's why I went to the Peninsula. So, but yeah. Excuse me, I'm
It's all
sorry.
right. It's all right.
So, but and then also I helped get the one in Williamsburg started. So we're always trying to do more of that, expanding now. Just the more people you know, the more chances you can build relationships.
Sure.
The more it's going to build your business, especially when you don't have a marketing budget like most of us have to be able to spend thousands of dollars on stuff.
Right. Right.
But
Gotcha.
yeah, that's pretty much it. Just trying to get to the next level, one step at a time. How to eat an elephant, one bite at a time.
One bite at a time. That's right. Tasty, tasty elephants.
Exactly.
All right, cool, man. Well, great, man. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and look forward to more and seeing Capital Carpet and Services grow.
Thank you for having me. I
You're
really
welcome,
appreciate
man.
it. All right, John.